thank you so much for spending some time with us today. And yeah, I'm really excited to talk about 1,000 Blows, a 12-part series which has me hooked already, and your portrayal of Mr. Lau, a Chinese man who becomes entangled in the world of boxing, drama, love, and the fight for power. In the backdrop of Victorian London. So we're going to talk today a little bit more about Mr. Lau, the character, and also your personal experiences as
would
well.
love to.
So my first question is, in the story of 1,000 Blows, it focuses on working class people and immigrants battling for survival in Victorian London. How much do you feel the journey of some of the main characters, including your character, Mr. Lau, has synergies with modern day life today, navigating spaces that aren't built for certain people, but still a place of opportunity?
Wow, I've been asked a lot about how do I relate to Mr. Lau, and have I done much research on him? And the truth is, when I read the script and when I read the sides, when I first got the call, I absolutely understood him immediately. I got him, and even though I haven't lived in the 1880s, and because his story and the way he felt, I was like, oh, these are people I've met before. I've worked all over the world. I've met Chinese people, Australian Chinese, Canadian Chinese, British Chinese, Chinese from Madagascar, from France, wherever, and the immigrant story is so familiar, and it's almost exactly the same. I know so many people from all over the world whose parents own Chinese restaurants. It's just like, you know what I mean? Like I meet someone, oh yeah, my parents moved here and they opened up a Chinese restaurant, and like it's so familiar. And knowing my own mum's journey to coming to England as well, and how she works several jobs just to make ends meet. So I didn't have to do that much research to understand who this man was. The struggle to emigrate and in search of a better life, it never changes, whether it's 1880s, 1950s, or 2025. So it's just a very familiar story, and like I said, it just resonated with me immediately.
Yeah. You can definitely see it when you see the character on screen, especially interacting with other people as well in the storylines.
Right.
I am a British Chinese takeaway kid myself. So.
See, right? That's what I'm saying. Like, and like you, I know people from Canada, like from America, all over. Everyone has exactly. Anyway.
Yeah, definitely. So my second question is that in your other roles that you've played, a historical Chinese American character set in San Francisco. So how does this previous experience of living those roles compare to how you approached the character of Mr. Lau in 1,000 Blows? So are there any key differences in terms of the portrayal of Asian American versus British, Southeast Asian people on screen?
I mean, that's sort of a larger question of like, but I would almost bring it back down to like, who are these characters specifically, right? Like in Warrior, I play Young Jun in 1880s San Francisco, Chinatown, and and Mr. Lau is a Chinese immigrant in London in the 1880s, and it's interesting to see how they both approached and how they felt they needed what they felt they needed to do to survive in their times. And Young Jun in Warrior in San Francisco, he's big and he's brash and he's a gangster, he's a criminal. He feels like he needs to live this life in order to survive. He has to fight in that way, literally fight with his fists. Whereas Mr. Lau, his strategy to survive is to lay low. And we get that, right?
Yeah.
Not gonna like ruffle any feathers. I'm not gonna look anyone in the eye. I'm gonna change my physicality. I'm not going to like let. Mr. Lau would rather not be seen than be seen. Whereas Young Jun in Warrior, that's all he wants to be seen.
Yeah.
They're very different approaches to surviving, and that was the thing that I really enjoyed the most about playing Mr. Lau, is that sometimes as actors, you know, if you're a showman, you're a performer, you want to like take up all the space and the oxygen in the room. Whereas Mr. Lau's is the opposite. You know, if he can just sort of slink back into the shadow, like he's more than happy to. He doesn't need the attention. And it's very, very enjoyable to play because, you know, even myself as an actor, like, you know, people think, oh, you're an actor, you must be very extroverted. But, you know, yeah, I mean, there's times where you want to be, but there's other times where, you know, I'm very happy to be not seen, ignored, anonymous, you know. So, yeah, it's fun to go back and forth those two different.
Oh, I love that, and I feel like Mr. Lau is a constant, like almost like the narration thread that goes through.
Yes.
So really enjoyed that as well.
Yeah, he's definitely he's like an emotional. He's like the emotional stability of the show in a way.
Yeah. Amazing. My next question or statement as well.
Yeah.
As a Hakka Moi,
Oh.
so myself, a Hakka Chinese person.
Oh my God, I'm so embarrassed. My Hakka was pretty terrible, wasn't it?
I love the attention to detail in terms of the series, right? In terms of the languages spoken, the food, the culture, cultural etiquettes that were shared as well.
Yeah.
I think that was a massive nod towards the Hakka Chinese culture.
Yes.
And there are lots of subtle but also very intentional big announcements of proudly sharing identity and heritage.
Yeah.
So how important is it for you and for global audiences around the world to portray a Hakka Chinese East Asian character in a period drama like this?
It's incredibly important to me because Chinese culture is there's so much to it, right? There are so many languages or dialects in China or from China. There's so many different kinds of people. You know, sometimes, you know, we just say China, it's sort of like we just paint a very broad brush over the whole country. Whereas, like, actually, there's so many different pockets of different kinds of people, and that's easily forgotten. And so, you know, myself being a Hong Konger, like, you know, I'm proud to be from Hong Kong. You know, I'm proud to speak Cantonese. Sometimes just saying that feels like a political statement, but it's not. It's like you're just happy to represent a small corner of the world. And so when I got this script, and you know, they were very specific that this is Hakka, because this is where Hezekiah Moscow, he was part Hakka Chinese, and so that was very important to me. And then when I look at my own life, my own family, my family was from China. They fled to Hong Kong during the Cultural Revolution, and they were family members of my grandmother's, who her brother, who fled, got on a ship and fled to Seychelles, and from Seychelles he ended up in Madagascar, opened a Chinese restaurant in Madagascar, married a Madagascan woman, and then all their children, offspring, and then their grandchildren, they're all Madagascan, and now they're French, so they all live in Bordeaux. And a few years ago, I went to go visit them, and you know, here I am, this, you know, English, Chinese, now Australian, you know, guy, and meeting my Madagascan French black family in Bordeaux. It's quite incredible. And then to see it in a script, I thought, oh wow, this is someone who's actually really thought about this. Because I recently got a script, and it's set in Dublin. And one of the first questions was like, "There's Chinese in Dublin?" I'm like, "Of course there's Chinese in Dublin. Like, what are you talking about? They're everywhere." It's like we sometimes forget these little things. Like, even I remember I was working on Warrior, and someone had asked me about one of the actors. His name's Joe Taslim, and they said, "Oh yeah, Joe's Indonesian." I go, "Oh yeah, but he's Chinese." And they're like, "What do you mean he's Chinese? He's from Indonesia." I'm like, "Yeah, there are Chinese people in Indonesia." It's like it's hard to, you know, just like they're Chinese in England, they're Chinese in Indonesia. So anyway, we're all over the place.
I'm going to end with the next section, which is going to be a quick fire round.
Yeah, please.
So it's going to be 6 questions.
Yep.
This or that. So
Okay.
you will pick which ones you prefer. Right. So, are you ready, Jason?
Yep. I think
We'll
so.
go easy on the first one. So, do you prefer jasmine tea or milk tea?
Milk tea.
Nice, strong choice.
Oh wait, you mean milk tea as in like in British milk tea,
Up
right?
to you.
I would say I was thinking Hong Kong milk tea.
Lai
Lai
Tai.
Tai.
Okay,
Yeah,
Lai
yeah,
Tai,
yeah. Lai
okay.
Tai.
Yeah, we'll go with
I'm a
that.
Hong Kong boy.
Okay.
Yeah, Lai Tai.
I love that. In the boxing ring with Sugar Goodson or in the river with the eels?
You know what? I'll say in the ring with Sugar Goodson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Fancy your chances. Love that.
Not because I fancy my chances, but now if I'm going to go down,
Yeah.
I might as well, go down, getting beat up by Sugar Goodson.
Wonton noodle soup or wonton noodles dry?
Oh, soup.
Yeah, soup
Come on,
all the way.
soup all the way.
East or West London?
Oh, well, I feel obligated to say East London now. Now that I'm working on a show set in the East, East London.
East London.
Yeah.
Okay. Shoes off or shoes on in the house?
Do you even need to know my answer?
Just checking.
Off, absolutely off.
Love that. And then the last one, I've got some little props.
Yeah.
So let me grab these out. Are you team rice or are you team noodle? You could be Rudel in the middle.
I do love both, but I feel like, no, I'm not going to take the easy way out. I'm going to say noodle.
Do you want the sticker?
please.
Do you want the rice one anyway?
You know what?
I'll take them both.
Absolutely. Yes, absolutely.
I am also team noodle, as you can see from the little badge that I have.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you so much,
Thank
Jason,
you so much.
in terms of bringing Mr. Lau to life
Thank you.
and portraying this important story of East and Southeast Asian people in the UK in 1,000 Blows, available from the 21st of February.